Okay, as we go through these examples, there are going to be a lot of things in here, and I tried to choose some of each to remind you about some of the concepts and things that you should have learned in math up to this point, but that we probably need to review really quickly so that you have kind of a smattering of understanding. Okay, so first of all, example one says use the definition of division to find each quotient if possible. If a quotient is not defined, explain why. Okay, so what they mean by use the definition of division is they're wanting you to turn this back into a multiplication problem. They want you to say, well, 40 divided by 5 means, or negative 5 rather, means negative 5 times something equals negative 40. Well, if you do that, you're going to end up having to divide both sides by negative 5 in order to get rid of it. So you still have negative 40 divided by negative 5. I think that's silly to try and do those extra steps. Just say, what is negative 40 divided by negative 5? So ignore the signs at first. 40 divided by 5 would be 8. Since we are working with the same sign, that answer will be positive. So 8 is our answer. Moving on to the next one, we have negative 143 divided by 13. So again, don't worry about the signs, just do the division. 143 divided by 13 is 11. Now, are the signs the same or different? They're different, so our answer is negative, just like that. And now this one says negative 5 divided by 0. Now remember, thou shalt not divide by 0 is the first commandment of math. You cannot divide by 0. That is undefined. We have absolutely no idea of understanding how many times 0 goes into negative 5. So this is undefined because division by 0 is not allowed. Um, Okay, so let's go ahead and do example 2 while we're here. This says evaluate each of the following expressions if possible. So let's go ahead, and this is all focused basically on order of operations. So let's do in here what's in the parentheses first. So we have 10 divided by 2, which is 5, and then the negative divided by the negative, so same sign, means it's going to be positive. But then we also have to now multiply that to the negative 2. So now 5 times 2 would be 10, and because the signs are different, our answer will be negative. Just worry about doing the multiplication and division first, and then worry about the signs later. Okay, so here we have a problem where we have multiplication and division. Now, in order of operations, I know that if you'll remember, it's please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we have parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, and then addition and subtraction. Neither one of multiplication and division or addition and subtraction are more important than the others in their pair. So we don't do multiplication first and then division. We just do as we see it left to right. Now it just so happens that in this one we do have to do the multiplication before the division, but that's because it's in parentheses, and parentheses come first no matter what. So 10 divided by 5, that would be 2, and our signs are different, so our answer would be negative. I'm sorry, 10 divided by 2. I'm not even talking right. This is 10 times 2. 10 times 5. So 10 times 5 would be 50. Sorry about that. And then our signs are different, so our answer would be negative. So now we have negative 50 divided by 5. So 50 divided by 5 would be 10, and because the signs are different, the answer would be negative. Now here we have one that looks a little bit more complicated, but it's really not that horrible. Let's just do things one at a time. So remember, we have our grouping symbols. Absolute value acts like a grouping symbol. So the absolute value of negative 24, we went over that in the last section. So this is the distance from 0. So how far is negative 24 from 0? That would be 24 units. So we have 24 divided by, and now we have to do our inside parentheses first. So this is 4 times 9 minus 15. So since the signs are different, we are just combining. There's no multiplication and division here. This is just combining like terms. So since the signs are different, we subtract, which would be a 6, and keep the sign of the larger number. So you've got to remember your rules. So now we still have to work within the grouping symbols. So we have 24 divided by 4 times negative 6. Well, 4 times 6 would be 24. And because the signs are different, that would be negative. 24 divided by 24 would be 1. And the signs are different, so the answer would be negative.